My name is Kai, and when I was 17, me and my friends were hanging out one night. And we decided to watch a movie with popcorn. The movie was a hilarious thing. We had a good time laughing, drinking sodas, and eating popcorn. And when the movie was over, it was around 3:30 p.m. It had already turned to pitch black outside. One of my friends, who we'll just call Spencer, decided it was a good idea to play a game of Spotlight. Spotlight is just like hide and seek, but you play it in the dark and the seeker has a flashlight. Where I live is a cul-de-sac. And if you walk down a little path in the backyard, you'll end up at a long street. Across that street, there's a giant field that used to be a basketball court and a playground, but it was torn down since I was 8. Now the field was just empty. But there were lots of bushes for hiding spots, and a little cornfield, which would made it perfect for a game of Spotlight. So we grabbed a few flashlights and we headed to the field. After playing a giant game of rock, paper, scissors, it was decided that one of my friends, who we'll just call Brayden, was going to be the seeker. So me and Spencer decided we were going to hide in the cornfield, since no one will be able to find us in there. Remember, we were hiding together. While I believe my 4 other friends decided to hide somewhere else. I believe their names are John, Ethan, Liam, and my brother Cameron. I believe they were hiding in the corn too. First, some information that later needs to be in the story. Spencer was 17. John and Ethan were 16. Brayden, Cameron, and Liam were 14. Once me and Spencer got comfortable hiding in the fields, we started talking and joking around about the movie we just watched. Once after I told a joke to Spencer, and he started to laugh, I put my finger above my mouth and told him to be quiet because I could hear someone in the cornfield and stomping on leaves. We were both just thinking that it was Brayden, and we were hoping that he would find us. But after 2 seconds, the footsteps sounded like there was more than one person, like 2. Then Spencer said, "Wait, isn't Brayden the only seeker?" My heart just dropped. I began to get very scared and tried not to say anything. I could tell Spencer was terrified too. Just then, we heard the men start talking. And I think they were talking to each other, and guess what? That did not sound like either of our friends. So it was confirmed that 2 other people were hiding in the cornfield with us. They were talking very quietly, but we managed to hear some words. The words that we heard were, "Boys, snatched." Just like that. I felt like time had stopped. About a minute later, we heard them walk off. So me and Spencer assumed that they have left the field. But after the 2 men left, we heard someone yelling, "Get away from me! Help!" It sounded like Cameron. Me and Spencer immediately ran out of the cornfield. We both went to find Cameron. Just then, everyone went out of their hiding spots to go after the 2 men. John and Spencer were the most tallest and more buff. So they went over there and beat them up. John put one in a headlock and threw him to the ground. Then one man immediately ran at Spencer. Spencer screamed and pulled out his pocket knife he always kept with him and stabbed the man 3 times. As Spencer and John proceeded to beat the man up more, I immediately rushed over and picked up Cameron and told everyone to run. Spencer listened and just dropped the guy on the ground. But John wouldn't stop beating one of the guys up. So Spencer pulled him off the guy and they both ran off. All of us ran back to Spencer's house since it was the closest, and we told his mom everything, and she called the cops. Once the police arrived, we let them down to the field. And of course, the man had already left. However, there were still some blood marks since, remember, Spencer stabbed one of the men and there was blood, so they took a sample of it. Once me and Cameron were home, he told me that my brother Cameron told me that the man Spencer attacked had a knife, but the other didn't. I was kind of uncomfortable about what we did at the cornfield. But then I realized that was a good thing. Spencer attacked the man with the knife because if John tried to attack that man, he could have been stabbed to death because he had no weapon. I'm just thankful that none of my friends were hurt that night. It could have ended very badly. Till this day, me and those friends and I are still friends to this very day. After that incident, we never heard back from the police, which meant they never found those guys.